Hello and welcome, my name is Brian Abuga. Today we have the latest earbuds from Oraimo. These are called the Oraimo SpaceBuds. You can find them on the Oraimo eShop right now. I'll leave links on how to buy in the comment section and the pinned comment. For now, we'll just unbox this product and then later I'll do a review video of this so that you can get to learn about all the features in detail. For now, we'll just go through what it looks like right out of the box and to expect when you get this, but later on I'll do a review video where you can learn about everything else. As usual, the unboxing experience from Oraimo is great. Here's a message here: listen to your own rhythm and keep exploring. You can take this out. Let's check what we have in this small box. This is a user manual. You can set that aside. I think this is the charging cable. It's a Type-C charging cable. It's a short cable. Set it aside. Journey to the moon. And lastly, we have the actual earbuds, the SpaceBuds. Say it's a green color. It's a sleek design, although it's plastic, but it doesn't look bad at all. I like it. Type-C charging port. To open it, you just slide it. Sorry, it was upside down. And there's an LED light here, which is inspired by the lunar eclipse. We'll talk more about that in the review video. For now, we'll just look at the overall design and the build quality and maybe first impressions on how they sound. Then we'll get into more detail later. Then you can take a closer look at the actual earbuds. Sorry about that. There's a slightly purple gradient. And here, if you're keen enough, you'll notice you can see the internals, which is a great addition to this. They look great, they feel great, but they're quite light, but that will be good for long-term listening in the long run. If you have seen the FreePods 4, they are quite similar, or the Burna Boy edition earbuds. They're almost similar in design. I haven't seen them myself, but from the pictures I've seen, they're quite similar. You can get an idea of how they look, but they seem to be a slight upgrade over that in terms of design, and this additional LED lighting adds to something else which is not in the older version of the FreePods. But these are the latest, the SpaceBuds. What I'm going to do next is I'll pair this up with my phone, which is the one I'm using to record. Unfortunately, I don't have another phone to showcase you the pairing process for now, but once I pair it up, I'll listen, test it, and give you my first impressions on whether they sound good and whether they're worth the price. And then I'll talk about the special features which these earphones come with, and then I'll use it for an extended period. Then I give you a detailed review video so that you can, if you're not convinced, you can decide whether you should invest in this. Before we continue, there's one thing I forgot during the unboxing. Remember, I found the USB cable here. Tried to reach it. There were a pair of extra ear tips on this other side. I'm struggling to get them. Just try. These were there, and 2 extra pairs of ear tips. So take note of that. I'm not sure, but I think they're of different sizes: small, medium, and large. And one of them is already on the. I've already tested this. I've paired them to my phone. I've also found another phone, since for me to demonstrate how the extra features work, I'll need to show you on the Oraimo Sound app. You can't get these features without the Oraimo Sound app, so make sure you get that. It's available on both Android and iPhone. I'll leave links to the app here. And also I did a video on how to use the app, how to set it up for the first time, which you can watch here. To get started, I've already set up the Oraimo Sound app so you can deploy it and see what the features you can play around with. Here on the first page, you'll see the battery level on each earbud and the case. For the case to be battery to be visible, you'll have to have at least one earbud in place. And then you have here the noise control mode. Here there's noise cancellation off, and then there's a noise cancellation, and then there's transparency. I've tried all these modes, the noise cancellation levels. I haven't noticed much of a difference, but there's some level of noise cancellation. Maybe if I'm in a noisy place, I'll notice it. I'm in a silent place, but it's a good feature to have. if you love noise cancellation. You can adjust the level from low to high. And then there's this, which is an interesting feature. It's Smart Chat. What this does when you turn it on, or whenever you're listening to music or listening to anything, then you speak or someone speaks to you, then whatever audio is playing will automatically pause so that you can communicate with whoever is talking to you. The problem with this feature, sometimes maybe if you want to sing along to a song, it will just pause the music suddenly. That's one thing to take note of, but it's an interesting feature and it's useful, especially if you have people around. You don't want to be antisocial. So there's the equalizer here. You can play around with the different preset settings, and you can also customize the equalizer to your liking and then save it to whatever you have. I recommend leaving it on this, the default. It sounds really good with that, or you can just turn it off altogether by using standard. And then something else, there's a voice prompt. Here, what this does is you can add your voice, the sound where it says pairing, connected, and all that. You can customize that to use your own voice. You remember like the Burna Boy edition of the SpaceBuds, it had his voice, but still this is even more interesting. You can use your own voice. I haven't tried it yet, but I'll just leave it by the default. You can play around with that. Maybe in the review video I'll tell you more about it if I get to try it out. The light effect, it's the light which is here at the bottom of the earbuds. You can change it. There are a few preset options, so you can play around with this. You can see this is energy green moonlight, which is the default. The camera isn't doing it justice because of the lighting, but it looks much better, trust me. You can play around with these different options. Yeah, and here you can see, like maybe for example when it's pairing, you can choose either breathing, twinkling, or static. I don't know if it will be visible. Yeah, it works differently. Then we have touch control. Here you can set each side so that you can use one side for music control and the other side for volume control. I love doing this so that I can know one hand is for a particular purpose. I've done that in the showing you how to do it in the other video, which you can check out on the channel. That out of the way, wide area tap, I recommend turning this on. What this does is that instead of fumbling around touching the earbuds, because the touch area is quite narrow, you can touch somewhere around the earbuds on your body, around your ears, and it should respond. It works. Sometimes it doesn't, but it works quite well. It's much better than having to fumble around with your earbuds, especially if you have wet hands or you have something on like gloves and all that. I recommend leaving this on. Then there's game mode. This one you can turn on if you play online games where latency is a factor in performance, so you can turn that on, but I'll just leave it off because I don't game quite much. Dual device connection, this one is interesting. I'll have to try it out and tell you more about it in the review video. But this is how it works. If you leave it on, you can connect to two devices, maybe two phones, your tablet and your phone and all that, so that if you are doing one thing on the other and maybe you receive a call on one of your devices, you can just receive the call and then get back to your music without any interruption. This is quite useful, especially if you work on a computer and a phone at the same time. You can connect to both and get both benefits of having your calls within reach, and you can also continue consuming on your media on the other device. These are the main features, so I was just going through them. It will do. I'll spend some time with this, then I'll see how it performs battery-wise and all that. So for perspective, for the size, you can I just wanted to cover that quickly. These are the Oraimo Rift 2, which are my everyday earphones. I prefer having half-in-ear earphones, but they're not the best if you love bass. For perspective, this is how they look. They're quite large, but they're not heavy. The weight is almost the same. We'll try this first. That's 35 grams. That's including the case. For this, it's 57 grams. So they're not quite heavy. Let's just try for each. One bud, just 5 grams, so a total of less than 10 grams. They're quite light and comfortable. I felt them. I haven't tried them on for extended periods, so but I could feel they're comfortable. They're not heavy and they stick, and even if you're moving around, they won't come off easily. One other thing is that they have some form of waterproofing. They'll survive a few splashes here and there and light rain, but don't submerge this in water. They're not rated for all that. I leave links on how to buy this. I know they'll be great earphones, but as I said, I know I've said it many times, I'll do a review video on this after a few days or maybe a week or two, and then I'll tell you exactly what I feel about them. But from first impression, they're great earbuds. They sound good, and they look good also. So I leave links, and you can use my discount code to get a special discount, which I leave in the description and the pinned comment. Also, I have a newsletter which you can join. I'll also leave a link in the description, and please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video and sharing it with your friend, and it's the best way to support this channel. See you in the next one.